Rejoining.
First one just hit.
Hey guys, it's Casmo. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the Harrier, and we're going to talk about how to ripple salvo laser-guided Mavericks.
Just hit together.
So as always, sit back and enjoy the flight.
Alright, and let's see where we get on the fourth one.
Roger, stand. This is Anzac 173. You are cleared on 1 Kilo 2 Alpha on these two individuals, CID.
That was quite a bit of fire there.
I'm pulling the throttle way back. I'm at like 46% RPM right now.
Hey guys, so if you're anything like me, your experience in a Harrier is really a series of mashing buttons and turning dials in an effort to release ordnance without crashing into the ocean. And while it has a complete range of complex guided weapons, I often just dream of dropping cluster bombs on hapless trucks parked in the motor pool. But reluctantly, I admit there are times where a guided weapon is the tool for the job, and I started thinking about the laser-guided Maverick. As a gun pilot flying OH-58s and AH-64s, I'm no stranger to laser-guided munitions with the Hellfire. But I got to thinking, have I seen anyone ripple fire 2 or more missiles? This is a pretty common technique in the helicopter world because it's simple. The spotter aircraft finds a good location to observe and squirts the laser. The shooter fires multiple missiles with a delay between shots. Both missiles follow the laser spot, and after the first missile hits, the spot is shifted to the second target, and, if you've done everything right, the second missile is able to adjust and strike the target. However, waiting too long to move the spot or not enough delay, and you could lose the missile. I figured it could be done and had been done before by other players, but I've never seen it in any video or discussed online where I frequent. So I took to the skies and gave it a shot. Knowing that the timing would likely be off, I started with what I know from experience and worked from there. A roughly 5-second delay from the first shot to the second, and both missiles hit near simultaneously. So I extended the delay. 13 seconds and no change of course. The hits were so close together that I had no time to adjust the spot. At this point, I figured the aircraft's momentum forward was eating into the first missile's head start more than I anticipated. So for the next shot, I increased the delay and turned away from the target to maintain standoff, then turned back in and fired again. The spacing was better, but in this case the angle was off and the second missile couldn't make a tight enough turn to hit the target. This was more of a weaponeering failure than a timing issue. The final experiment was an even longer delay and a closer initial launch position. The missile speed was decaying faster than I expected in this experiment, so I thought a close shot would eliminate some of that issue. The problem now was my own proximity to the target, and by the time I turned in and fired the second, the first missile was hitting the target. Still, this technically enabled me to fire 2 missiles off the same laser squirt and run-in, but didn't really capture the essence of what I was trying to do. Flying, fighting, and guiding weapons was a heavy single-pilot workload. The Harrier slumps like the town drunk when it lets go of one of those Mavericks, and a momentary disruption of control can contribute to loss of good guidance or situational awareness. So I enlisted some help to try to perfect the technique. So here's the game plan. Viking is offset to my left and behind, and fires at my command, then brakes left, counts to 5, then turns back in to fire again. Other than a fairly close transit by the first missile, no issues in tracking or launch. He turns out as planned, back in, and easily finds the laser spot. Approximately 20 seconds passes when he fires the second missile, giving me more than enough time to reposition the laser spot and hit the second target. But I want more than 2 missiles. Review of the TAC view footage shows me exactly what I need him to do. Instead of continuing after the second shot to rejoin, I have him push back out further, then hard turn in, fire, then back out to the right once more. In this way, he's following me around the target and keeping the missile within acceptable laser safety fan limits. I'm not sure if these are exactly modeled in DCS, but I'd rather do it the right way. If nothing else, it might make it easier for me to turn the missiles in their final seconds of flight. The launching went off without a hitch. Timing felt good for my position, but the third missile came in just a little faster than I was prepared for. A few more seconds outbound would have solved that issue. Nevertheless, I found this an acceptable proof of concept, just need some fine-tuning on ranges and delays. TACView is a great resource to figure out what exactly the missile was doing. I was surprised at just how much speed was bleeding off from these missiles, and the impact from continued flight towards the target area was more obvious from this viewpoint. Additionally, the ability to examine angles and timing in a buddy lay scenario was much easier to accomplish. Not a bad little program if you're interested in seeing what's going on around you after a mission to increase your air sense. Overall, I'm pleased to see that it can be done with a minimum of fuss, just a little practice and coordination. It's not for everyone and it's not for every situation. If this is something you've been doing in your own game or you have some other ideas on how to do it, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below, and if you're feeling generous, throw me a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you out on the flight line.